How many women do you know that are happy and comfortable in their bodies? Take a moment to think about that. I'm going to guess you maybe came up with one, maybe? And is it any surprise? I mean, the world is filled with these messages that we have to be thin, that our bodies as they are, exactly as they are right now, are not good enough. And some of these messages can be really overt. You get up in the morning and you watch the news, and there's commercials as you're watching that tell you that it's really easy to lose weight. This diet is super easy, super fast, and super cheap. You, on your way to work, you're seeing advertising all over the place in public transit, even on buses if you're driving in a car, that again are telling you the same thing, that your body needs to change. You get to work and there is conversations with coworkers about the candy in the lunchroom, and during your lunch break you are going to the gym because you have to go to the gym because clearly you're not up to the standard that you need to be at, so you go to the gym every lunch hour and you check your social media feed and you've got friends who are on these diets that are posting pictures of their food and posting pictures of their workouts and how hard they're working and look at my before and afters. And it's just a constant stream of messaging that's telling you in really overt ways that you're not good enough, that you need to be skinnier, you need to buy into the thinness box, you need to get into that thinness box. Some are more subtle. You see the commercial of the moisturizer and it shows this picture of the female form along the side, and you don't look like that. Constant messaging like that, so you're constantly seeing the female form in advertising that maybe has nothing to do with dieting, but you're constantly seeing this figure form that you don't look like that, is a subtle form of messaging that the beauty standards that we have put out there are really hard to meet. You can also find that there's a lot of information out there that talks about being body positive and then it talks about dieting in the same breath. So you're kind of going, I'm not quite sure here. So to be body positive, I still have to diet. And the problem is that we're getting this messaging over and over from culture and society. We're being told in a lot of different ways that we need to live up to a certain standard of beauty. And if we don't live up to that standard, there's tons of places that'll help you. You just have to pay some money to get there. So this constant feeding into the idea that you need to be at that standard, and this constant buying in with our money into these diets, these moisturizers, these makeup, all of these kind of standards of beauty, because we feel we need to get there. So how can we begin to turn things around? I don't think you can shut yourself off from the world, and that's not what I'm advocating, but I am thinking we need to start being more critical of the information we're being fed. So those advertisements that you're seeing when you're watching TV, looking at them and saying, are they trying to tell me that my body's not good enough just as is right now? Then I don't need to listen to it. The social media feed where you're finding that there's lots of people posting about dieting and what they're eating and what they're weighing, unfollow. There are some ways to begin to eliminate some of that social noise so that you have an opportunity to get to know what your body wants and needs. You need to create the space so that you can listen to your body. So you can start to do that by beginning to eliminate the things you can and beginning to be critical of the things you can't. Bring some awareness to what it is you're watching. And while you maybe can't turn it off because you're watching with someone else or it's a show that you really want to watch, just being critical will bring a lot of awareness to it and will allow you to maybe not soak in quite so much that messaging that you're not enough. I've been a magazine addict since I was really young. My mom used to get these Chatelaine magazines, and I don't think she ever read them, but I would pick them up and read them when I was, as soon as I could start reading, so like 8 or 9. And what I've begun to realize is that the messaging in those magazines, while they say they're body positive, is not body positive. They are still perpetuating this idea that the body needs to look a certain way, no matter what magazine I'm looking at. They change slightly, but that standard is still there. And I'm sick of it. So I have stopped buying magazines, which is crazy. I get a Toastmasters magazine once a month, and that's it. So if you can start to take a look at the messaging that you're being given, that's really going to go a long way in being able to start to step outside of this idea that we need to buy into the thinness box. We need to either get into that thinness box or be constantly striving to get into that thinness box. Once you can start to do that, so once you can start to be critical and aware of the things that are going into your brain and start to eliminate the ones you can, then we can start to talk about doing things because they feel good, not because you're doing it for weight loss. So lots of people say they go to the gym because it makes them feel good. But the reality is that if they weren't dieting or weren't attempting to lose weight, they would not go. So if you're doing things for that reason, if you're doing things because it's going to help you to lose weight, then you're not doing it for the right reason. You need to reconsider some of your actions. Are you eating that salad at lunch because it feels good, or are you eating that salad at lunch because that's what you do in order to try to live up to a standard of beauty that is completely unattainable? I honestly believe that if we were to stop and say, would I be doing this anyway, even if I wasn't on a diet, that there's a lot of things that would change. And what you're giving yourself space to do is you're giving yourself space to be able to allow your body to speak to you and tell you what it needs. Sometimes it can be really hard to listen to your body. I've had 30 plus years trying to live up to that beauty standard. And now I'm saying, okay, well, body, I'm going to let you take over. You can tell me what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And it's having a hard time trusting me. So just allowing myself that space, by giving myself that mental space, by giving myself that questioning space where I'm able to say, would I be doing this anyway, has really begun to change how I think about my body and what I let my body do and what I don't allow my body to do. So I hope in some way you found this helpful. And I guess the only real announcement I have is that I am looking for beta testers for my brand new program. It'll be called, well, right now it's a working title, but I think this is what it'll be called, Your Beautiful Body Image Toolkit. This is a 5-week course for now with the beta testers. You get worksheets, exercises, videos, and a group Zoom call to kind of begin to think about our body images and how we can improve our body image. So if you're interested at all, my website is iwishiwereme.com. Just go on into there. There is a contact me form right at the bottom of the page. Just shoot me over your information with a little message, beta testers, and I will get in touch with you and we can kind of talk about it from there. So if anybody's interested, I would love to have you join the crew. Okay, thank you very much. Love yourself first and always.